everybody, how are you doing? It's your boy DC, Thursday night host of Rogers Out of the Fog.
Right, you kind of got to make your own fun.
Yeah.
Which was a transition for me, going into the morning show here.
Proud. Keep doing the amazing work, will you?
They're learning about how to hire people.
20 years of local matter, so join me every Thursday night and see what's going on in the fog.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
This is Rogers TV.
Focused on quality and convenience, there isn't much you won't find at Marie's Mini Mart. Home-style breads, sandwiches, plus a variety of artisan breads and delicious single-serve desserts available exclusively at our Frecker Drive location. Marie's Mini Mart, with 25 locations wherever you go, there we are.
Hello, welcome to Sharing Our Cultures. This is the place where you get to meet amazing individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds who are contributing to our province in Newfoundland and Labrador. Joining me today are Mieref Metgebo and Chanel Rolle. Hello and welcome to Sharing Our Cultures. Joining me today is an amazing community leader, Mieref Metgebo. Welcome.
Thank you for your invitation and thank you to have me here.
Okay.
I'm so glad.
Okay, and I'm just as glad to have you here as well, yes. And I was saying that I hadn't seen you for a long time and you were thinking about the first time we met. So remind me of that time. What happened?
I was actually a new arrival, newcomer to Canada. I came from Ethiopia. I am a former refugee. I was a refugee at the time, and since we arrived, we didn't have like much people, and then there wasn't much Eritrean community here. And once my the ANC, Association for New Canadians, once they get me and they got me to get a house and then settled in Newfoundland. And I had one of my refugee mates, she was arrived before me here, and she had me phone number for Bethesda to call to get some help and then to get to be connected with the community and then to go to church. I am actually a follower of Orthodox, but I'm a Christian and I follow any religion. And I was saying, okay, can you have me the phone number? And then I called and I got Lloydetta. And then I was sharing her my where I come from. And I would like to get somebody to have me connection with the church and with the community. And then she arrived to my home and then she was knocking. I was making some injera. We didn't have much, because it was new, and then we didn't know exactly where to get those stuff, especially some cultural food, especially injera. We made it from teff, it is Ethiopian, and then there wasn't a lot of Eritrean community and Ethiopian community here, and then we didn't have also access to be connect with them, because we were just arrivals, and then you came, but I had those coffee that I brought it from Ethiopia, and then I made it for you. It was nice to meet you because you arranged to go to Bethesda to have me a butcher for my kids, because I came with my husband and with my two kids, and then he made me to meet with two nice, really, they are like mostly my warmest gladly family and friends, Shirley and Gloria. I met them back on 2015 on around August. Still we are best friends. I know age is just numbers, I believe. They are 80 years and then I'm 41 right now. They usually count on me, they pray for me, and I feel like once I got you guys, got Bethesda, I feel like I am belonging to this land. And nice to meet you that time. And I just remind you that.
Thank you very much. Yes, as you were speaking, I was thinking, I remember the coffee and how you started making the coffee like just from the beans, like
with the green beans.
Yeah.
That's why that's our culture. Like we usually travel with our coffee, unless I know some refugees they might not bring due to of incomes. It's really hard to come as a. Being as a refugee is hard. I know it's a person. Refugee means it's a person like you, like me, like any others. But we were forcing to leave our country, and then we just starting to build our life in the refugee countries, our children over there. And then, like, I'm the lucky person, I might say, one of 800 million refugees. I was chosen to come to Canada. I know it's a terrified way to reach here. It's not easy, but I got a homeland, Newfoundland, and they accepted me as I am, and then I feel like I belong to here, and I'm starting from zero. I came with zero income, and then here I am. I'm still living, but I'm a survivor. What I would say is I'm a survivor, and then gladly to meet to the Association for New Canadians to have me, to settle me here in Canada, in St. John's, Newfoundland. And also by myself, it was easy for me because I used to speak English. But for some other newcomers to Canada, they don't have any English. It's really difficult to navigate their lives. And then we would like to have like Lloydetta Association for New Canadians and other multicultural women's organizations and other organizations to help those new arrivals. I mean, new Canadians, refugee, immigrants, students, international students, everyone that needs help, Thank you.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that you had that good experience when you arrived here. So what have you been doing since then?
Actually, I went to school, to Association for New Canadians, the Link School, English ESL, to improve my English. Actually, I was starting level 6. It was the highest one. And I had 2 kids with me, and Moses and Zion. Moses went to school right away because he was above 7 years old, but Zion was young. We used to go to Link to improve our English, and we were learning over there, but I had some quite rough time because I had a separation in between, and I would like to continue because I would like to be a good example for my kids and for others too, even though I was single mother, and then I was trying, my community don't accept women who is separated from her husband. They would like you to be living in that, if you have domestic life, domestic violence, or wherever it is, intimate violence, they would like to stay over there, not to be going outside. They think that if you come to Canada, if you're separated, they will isolate you. But I was trying to show who I am, and my background was like, I had a lot of complicated life story, and then to prove is you need to be struggling, not to give up. So I said to myself, I need to go back to school to continue, because I graduated back home, but my government is dictator and they couldn't provide as a transcript. So here I am in Canada, I'm in St. John's in Newfoundland. I was asking the Link School the access actually to provide me to go to ABE, and then they were helping me, and then I got the ABE done actually in short period of time, and they allowed me to do the exam in Academic Canada, and then I had some good marks, and then I was continuing to go to Academy Canada. I wasn't intended as a full attendance person. This is true because my kids, they needed me to get them to school. We used to walk, and then we didn't have car because I was separated and I didn't have income. I was by myself. I was in low income. I was with social welfare, the social income. So because if I go to work, I couldn't cover. Nobody going to see my kids. So I must have to do that. And then I was continuing, and I also doing some interpretation, working with the Association for New Canadians, and then with the community, with Eastern Hills and Refugee Clinic, and everywhere, with the school, with social worker, with CC, Child Youth Family Protection, RNC, wherever they call me, I go to there, or court to interpret my language, Tigrinya, to help my community, even though I can have some income, but still it's helpful. And sometimes I provide, after meantime, I got a car, and then I was usually my kids, they used to ask me when we walk, people, they admire us, they see us like this, and then they think, so maybe those people, they think as we are homeless, mama. And I said, no, we are not homeless. We just surviving. We can do it. And then I was putting my son to play soccer, and he is right now in NLS and Whitecaps and PYL Moses. Good. Hopefully he will make it. And and people, they always ask me, my community, how dare you can do it that? I said, I can do it. If you say I can, you can. And then I know it's harsh. We used to work on snow time, and nobody was helping. I wasn't asked, but especially with my community, he's part of the community. He's Eritrean, my boy is Eritrean. They need to encourage a woman, but a woman, if, as I told you, if she's separated, he thinks she's bad. But I wasn't thinking as a bad judgment. I just putting myself with the community, helping them whenever I go to interpret. Once I have the car also, they go far away to have dentist appointment. I didn't let them to go walking. I was walking, and I don't want them to terrified, I usually tell them, let me drive you to your home, because I've been there. I don't want you to pay some for taxes, because I know it. I've been there. And it was my intention to help my community and sharing my situation, learn from me. So usually I used to study in the night time and not in the daytime. I go to Academy Canada and then tell them I am a single mother who is raising my children by myself. And also I'm studying, I can make it, just give me time. And then they allow me to do it because of that. I finished my high school back on 2020, but I didn't graduate because of the COVID. So this year, last year was my graduation, but I was in labor. And then this year, on May 18, I'm going to have my award. So that's my goals. And then I also helping my community. I used to be also I was a volunteer with us all time. I didn't spend any minute or time without using it. So in 2016, I went to Multicultural Women's Organization of NL. But I met with Kaveri, and then I shared my story with her, and she allowed me to do volunteering. And I started from volunteering to become board member. From board member to secretary. I've been with them for a while, for 3-4 years, and it was happy time for me, a lot of well experience. I had it, and then also time by time, also side by side, I used to work with the Association for New Canadians, part of with the advisory committee, so for mental illness for newcomers and then refugee. I used to be participating in every manner to help new Canadians to settle in St. John's and Newfoundland, and it was quite a great time for me. And and now I'm just I don't know. And then I got my citizen back on 2019.
Oh, congratulations.
Right away, I know. I arrived arrived on July 9, 2015.
Right.
I was just reborn in Canada. Was my first year of reborn, and then was starting and then it's a long journey for me. But I like it. I love it, and St. John's is my homeland. To me, Newfoundland is my home, my new homeland for myself.
Well, thank you so much. You've really given us a lot of information, and we really had the opportunity to hear what it is like when you come here. And thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. And Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures, and joining me today is Rolle, and she's a musician, but she's many, many more things than that, but she's going to tell us all about it. Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here and to get an opportunity to find out a little bit more about you, which I couldn't do the last time we met. So tell me about you then.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the Bahamas, and I moved to Newfoundland and Labrador in 2016, and I moved here to study at Memorial University. So I did my undergrad in Mon at the School of Music, and I did my degree in ethnomusicology and performance, voice performance, and then following that I did my master's in performance and pedagogy.
Okay, so since then, what have you been up to?
Well, since then, I've just been, I guess, performing, kind of growing my network here in the community, and exploring the different aspects of the music industry, because it's like so many different facets depending on what style you want to do. For instance, I did classical studies in jazz in university, but kind of like as a performer in the community, you have to kind of branch out and be very diverse. So I've been just like exploring Newfoundland, working with different performers. I've also been teaching a bit. So that's what
you've been doing. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the teaching.
So I recently started teaching again, and I have a private studio. So what I do is I pretty much just like work with adults, kids, private voice lessons for about a half hour, and then I teach based on the needs of the student. So what their goals are, I assess that, and then I also kind of assess like what they need. So based on that, I kind of conduct a lesson. Yeah.
All right. So can you give us a little bit of an example of, say, what a student might be looking for and what you can provide?
Sure. Like, for instance, I've had students who just wanted to learn a song for a very specific event, or who wanted to work on building certain facets of their voice, or work on stage presence and confidence. So it really depends on their needs, and based on that, I guess I construct a lesson plan based on what they need.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you've got such a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just so fascinating. And so is that nurture? Is that nature? Is it where you, when did you realize that you were a singer and you had a beautiful voice?
I don't know. I was always interested in singing, but I was really shy, actually. I'm still a pretty shy person, honestly. So growing up, I started really late singing, actually, because I was so shy. But I started out in choirs in primary school, and then I really pushed myself in high school to kind of put myself out there. But it took a while for me to get comfortable, I guess, with my own voice and actually singing. So I would say around like 13, 14 was when I kind of started. Yeah.
So did you have to take private lessons, or so when you said you started, did you start singing for public or in concerts, or like where did you start?
Well, for the most part, I started singing in choirs, and then through singing in choirs, I got a lot of opportunities to sing like solos. And in high school, I started taking the Royal School of Music examinations, which is a music exam. So I did the theory exams as well as the practical exams in voice. And through me taking the exams in voice, I started taking private voice lessons just with my teacher at high school, and then I started to work with professionals in the community. So from there, I started doing like those like solo things, and then I joined my college choir back home. I did my associate's degree back home in music as well. And then I worked with a teacher privately, and that's how I started singing classically as well. And from there, I joined other choirs, like the Bahamas National Youth Choir, and we would travel around representing the Bahamas in like different parts of the world. And we did a variety of like styles of singing, from classical to pop. We did a lot of folk music as well, but traditional Bahamian folk music. We did a lot of African music. We did a lot of Haitian music as well. And I also was a part of a group called the High Grove Singers. And the High Grove Singers is a sacred music sacred chamber ensemble. So we did like a lot of church choral music, things like that. So from that experience, from the choral background, I kind of like branched into solo singing and eventually worked my way up.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Yes, a lovely journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what motivated you then to come to Memorial for further studies?
It's such an interesting story how I got to Munch. So I actually had two teachers I went to the College of the Bahamas back home, and two of my professors suggested Memorial University for different reasons. So one was that I was interested in ethnomusicology, which is the research of music and related to different cultures and societies, and how music kind of like is integrated into that and what it means to the people of those cultures. So I wanted a school that offered ethnomusicology at the undergraduate level. And I also wanted a school that had an opera program at the undergraduate level, because most universities just do it at the master's for ethnomusicology and for opera. So MUN was one of the few schools that offered both of those things at the undergraduate level, and they had a conjoint program, so it was perfect.
Okay. And then you graduated with an undergrad degree.
I did, yeah.
And you decided to
pursue my master's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you choose to do that?
Well, because I want to teach at the university level. I want to teach music and musicology at the university level. So master's was the next most logical step. And I also wanted to continue my opera studies, just growing as a musician and a classical singer, because that was always a dream, the goal to be a professional opera singer as well as a university professor. So that's why I decided to pursue my master's.
So are you able to do that now, or do you have to have further studies to be able to teach at the university level?
Things have changed so much. Previously, you had to have a PhD to teach at the university level. Some universities would hire you with a master's degree. It would be per course instruction, but the culture is generally changing. So I could apply now. I would need some more experience, but I could definitely be hired now with the MUs, and then a PhD would just be like a cherry on top. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a lovely cherry too.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
So how have you been able to build your professional career here in St. John's?
Just by never saying no. That's my motto. I always try to say yes. If I don't know how to do something, or if I feel like it'll be a challenge, I just strap up and I just do it. So through that, I've made a lot of connections. I've put myself out there. I've worked with other musicians in the community, and through those opportunities, it's basically like a chain. Once you do one thing and somebody sees you, then it builds an interest, and then it connects you with other people. So just through that, having that attitude, I've been able to kind of grow my network and just put myself out there.
Because I was going to ask you, were people open to you and your style of music and being able to collaborate with you as well?
I definitely met a lot of people who have been open to that style of music. Well, for me, I like neo soul and R&B, and I also do a lot of reggae and Afro pop music. So that has been really interesting. You definitely have a crowd here who appreciate that music. But I realized it is kind of niche for the Newfoundland community. So it has definitely been a very interesting process, but you definitely have people there who appreciate it. So at first it seemed a bit difficult, but I started out as a backup singer for certain groups. I worked with Katapa, ran by Jake Alaska, a Congolese musician here. And through that experience, I met a few other people and was able to work with other organizations and perform for festivals. And, there's definitely a market here for it. So it's growing as well. So it's nice to see that people are becoming more interested in those styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So are you able to find work, not necessarily as in a profession, but in the province as well, since you graduated?
Yes, luckily I have. I've been working with Music NL as the Instrumental Connections Program Coordinator. So that's been a really good experience, and it's showed me a different side of the music industry, the business side of it, which I actually really enjoy, the business side of it. And that's introduced me to a totally new set of people, because before I knew a lot of performers, but seeing the business side of the industry, I've made a lot of connections that way.
Yeah. Well, congratulations for all you've achieved.
Thank you.
It's very impressive, and I think you make a great role model and mentor for younger people coming up and wanting to go into the music industry and be a performer. So you've done a lot, and I think later on we're going to hear some of your music. We hope. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate getting to know you, a little bit more about you and what you do, and the community knowing more about you as well, and that you are open for teaching. So if anyone's looking for an instructor in music, private music teacher, you are available. And we look forward to seeing you grow here as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's been my pleasure. And Sharing Our Cultures will be right back with some music from our dear Chanel Rolle.
Hi there, my name is Chanel Rolle, and I will be performing Zweigno by Strauss.
Thanks to Mieref and Chanel for spending their time with me today, and thanks to you for watching. Join us again next time and meet some of the amazing people who are contributing to our community in Newfoundland and Labrador.
If you want convenience, Marie's Mini Mart is here for you, a one-stop shop for a variety